Hey guys, it's Mandy. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. And if you happen to have a Dolly channel of your own, let me know in a comment and I'll make sure that I get subscribed to you as well. We are going to be doing another giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. That is going to be a Reborn. It's going to be a manufactured baby that was turned into a reborn. So exciting. This is the video that I have been telling you guys that I would make about what I feel is the true cost of this hobby and how we can get into pretty serious trouble if we are not careful with this hobby. This is in no way, shape, or form to shame anybody because I'm here. I'm in this situation. And this is in no way, shape, or form to detract from the joy and the happiness and the comfort and the sweetness of this hobby or our babies that we are adopting. This is just a cautionary kind of tale to give you guys a little overlook of my situation. I'm not going to be going into too much detail about my situation because a lot of it is very private, but I am going to be very honest without going into too much detail because I don't want to put too much of myself out there for people to latch onto and, for the wrong people to get a hold of because we all know that there are a lot of bullies in this hobby. So we can call this Confessions of a Shopaholic because that is me. I am a shopaholic. That is not an exaggeration. I have always been a shopaholic. I love to shop, whether it's in the store, or it's online, or it's at a garage sale. I love to shop. And the reason why is because, for me at least, shopping gives me a rush of dopamine. So when I shop, when I put things into that cart online and I hit the pay now button, or I'm at the store and I put the things into my cart and then I take them up to the register and I unfortunately swipe that credit card rather than my debit card, or when I just swipe the debit card, it doesn't matter, I get a rush of dopamine. Now, if you are not familiar with what dopamine is, it is I'm not going to go into the scientific terms, but basically, it's like a rush of a chemical in your body that leads to happiness. It's a rush of endorphins, and it leads to happiness. And shopping makes me happy. And so, when I shop, I feel very happy. And I have always been this way. Always, always, always. But then, in November of 2021, I discovered Reborns. And let me tell you guys, Reborns, this is not true for everybody, but it is true for me. Reborns equals emotions. Oh my goodness. Oh, our emotions are so involved when we adopt a new reborn, when we hold our reborns, when we love them and change them, but especially when we adopt a reborn, all of our emotions, the love, the happiness, the anticipation of the comfort and the joy, it is a heady, addicting thing. I am sure that a lot of you can relate, but it is a very big high of emotions. We're reborn expecting. We are reborn pregnant, and that baby is on the way. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. But here's the danger. And at least this was a danger for me. This may not relate to everybody, but this is my story. So, emotional shopping, you guys, is dangerous. Emotional shopping. And for me, definitely, any shopping that I do of adopting reborns or buying for my reborns, it is emotional. 100%. It is emotional. I love these babies. I love getting them. I love shopping for them. Oh, it's so emotional. But I'll tell you the danger, guys. Here's the danger. Emotional shopping, if we are not careful, can lead to debt or overspending. So, emotional shopping can lead to both of these. Debt means that we are using a credit card or we are taking out a loan. We are borrowing money from someone else. We're using money that's not ours, or overspending. I have done both. Overspending means that, we're not necessarily going into debt, but we are using, our paycheck or our Social Security, whatever money we get in, we are spending too much on reborns. That's what I mean by that. And it can lead to a very scary and upsetting situation, which is what it did for me. So, I began collecting in November of 2021. I adopted my first reborn Luke. I started watching videos. And you guys, YouTube can definitely lead to emotional shopping, which leads to debt. Trust me. So you start collecting reborns like I did, okay? So then you're watching YouTube and you're watching reborn videos, which are wonderful. And you see that someone has adopted a sculpt and they do a box opening. And oh, that sculpt is beautiful and you want that sculpt so bad. Oh my goodness, you really want to add that baby to your nursery. So you start looking and your emotions are involved. And then suddenly one pops up on reborns.com. And okay, so your first rational thought when this happens, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but your first thing should be, okay, can I afford this baby? Can I afford to buy this baby right now? And let's say the answer is no. Okay. Does the artist or seller offer layaway? If they do, great. We can make a deposit using cash, using our debit card, our checking account, and then we can make payments based upon, what the seller needs. Awesome. But let's say they don't take layaway. Okay. We go to PayPal and we hit the buy it now button and we see, okay, they do take PayPal Pay in 4. Not every seller or artist is signed up to take the PayPal Pay in 4. What that is a payment plan that PayPal offers you. There's no interest involved, and you make a payment every 2 weeks. The whole amount is split into 4 payments. It makes adopting reborns definitely, reborns, even if a reborn is a budget baby, it's still expensive, guys. It makes it a lot more affordable. And I highly recommend that. Like, if you really, really want to get that reborn now and you're afraid that it might slip away, if they do offer PayPal Pay in 4 and you can use your checking account or your debit card, to do that PayPal Pay in 4, it's really, really helpful. But let's say they don't. So now you have to make a choice. Do you walk away because you cannot logistically afford this baby? Or do you whip out the old credit card and do you put this entire baby on your credit card and promise yourself that you will pay it off as soon as possible? This is my little confession here that I chose that option far more than I should have. Which means that in the early days of my collecting, that first 6 to 8 months or so, guys, I racked up a lot of debt. I did do, and sometimes I was smart. Sometimes I would contact the seller. I had artists that I would use frequently, and I would do layaways, or I would do the PayPal Pay in 4 if it wasn't offered. But I did a lot of impulse shopping. And guys, impulse shopping is dangerous in the reborn hobby. Oh my goodness, it can be so dangerous. I have adopted out a lot of babies, and some of them, not all of them, some of them have been impulse purchases that I probably shouldn't have made. And I didn't end up bonding, or I lost my bond. Some of my babies I've sold because of money, and some of them I've just sold because I've had them for a while, and then maybe I lose my bond and I decide that they would be better off with another mommy. Nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with selling out of your collection, you guys. I'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, impulsive shopping in this hobby is really dangerous, because if we do have credit cards, it is so easy. It is so easy to whip out that credit card and buy that baby on the spot with a credit card. And let's say that you intend to pay that off, but then an emergency happens. Oh no, you suddenly can't pay off that doll. Or let's say that you overspent, that you did have the money in your checking account, and you went ahead and bought that $200, $300, $400, $500 doll. And then an emergency happens. And now the credit card that you didn't use now has to be used for your emergency. And you still end up in debt. This is the reality for me during those first 6 to 8 months of my collecting. Guys, I made some stupid decisions. That I am still paying for right now. I finally realized in September of last year, I decided to break down all of my debt, to write it all out, and to figure out how much of that was because of the Reborn hobby. And it wasn't all just because of buying Reborns, because we all know that you gotta clothe them babies, you want to buy them cute accessories, and then it's even worse when you watch YouTube videos and someone has beautiful Kate Quinn, or they have a beautiful children's salon haul, or they have this great accessory that everybody wants, and then because you might be like me, a shopaholic, you hop on to Target.com in the middle of the night, or you hop on to Kate Quinn's website in the middle of the night and you shop. Middle of the night shopping, you guys, is dangerous. Dangerous. Wait till morning, see if you still need the item. But anyway, in September, I finally got real with myself. I wrote down all of my debts. I talked it all over with Joe. And I stopped using my credit cards. Obviously, I'm still adopting Reborns because you guys have seen me have several box openings. But since September, I have not bought a baby with a credit card. I have either done a layaway, or I have done the PayPal Pay in 4, or if I could reasonably afford it, I have done I've bought the baby up front with my checking account, but I haven't used a credit card. I did buy one baby with a PayPal 12-month payment plan, which was that smiling little boy over there, little Mr. Eddie. I did buy him on like a PayPal 12 pay, which does have some interest on it. And then the very next month, before the interest even hit, I paid it off. I didn't have to pay a penny of interest on him. But I stopped using debt to buy Reborns. But to be perfectly honest with you, the damage had already been done. I have a lot of debt. And not all of it is because of Reborns. A lot of it is because of we had medical emergencies, we had car emergencies, we had pet emergencies. Little Raina that got so sick. We had to have Dio. Dio was very expensive towards the end of his life, and then we chose to have him put to sleep at home, which I do not regret that because it was as peaceful and comforting experience as that we could have given him. But it still adds to the debt. So, about 6 weeks ago, I was just making my minimum payment plans, but about 6 weeks ago, I decided to start doing Dave Ramsey's plan. I'm sorry, not 6 weeks ago. Maybe about a month ago. About a month ago, I decided to start doing Dave Ramsey's plan. If you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he's a financial advisor, very popular YouTube channel, podcast, books. I love his book called The Total Money Makeover. It's what we based our entire plan on. His plan is how we saved up for our down payment on our house in late 2020. We set aside an emergency fund. We now have an emergency fund. It's $1,000. And now we're doing the snowball method for our debt. And the snowball method, I'm not going to go into it because I don't want this video to be too long, but look up the snowball method for debt. It's a very reasonable, easy way that you can get out of debt, and you can start where you are. All you have to do is be making your minimum payments. But the best thing about his plan is you can start where you are. There might be some sacrifices involved. But guys, if you do have debt because of this hobby, you can get out of it. So this is kind of like my little cautionary tale of how this hobby can really rack up a lot of debt because of this whole process here of that feeling of happiness and the emotions that are wrapped up in our reborns, and that it leads to emotional shopping, and that can lead to debt or overspending. You do not have to keep up with your friends in this hobby. You don't have to have the sculpts that they have. You don't have to have the clothes that they have. There is nothing wrong with thrifting. There is nothing wrong with your babies. If you love those babies, that's all that matters. Take joy and comfort and happiness where you are. And I know that this might seem kind of false coming from someone who has a lot of reborns. And it might seem kind of condescending coming from someone, because I have told you guys in the past that Joe and I, that we do have really good jobs. We make good money, but that's kind of new. 3 or 4 years ago, yeah, we were eating ramen. So every day. But anyway, just be careful. If you need to walk away for a day from that reborn that you see that you love, then do it. Weigh the cost. Figure out, if you have to go into debt or you have to spend money that you might need for an emergency later on, please don't do it. It's not worth having your peace of mind and your security taken away. It's not. And I've been there. I was there in September when I finally stopped using credit cards. I had no financial peace of mind, and I felt as if I didn't have any financial security because of my bad decisions. So just be careful, you guys. Please be careful. I love you. Take care. Take care of each other. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.